I'm Zai Sylla, and I've built an online community recommending and sharing my thoughts about Black representation, movies, books, TV shows, anime, and so much more. I want authenticity and I want intention to Blackness. It's important for you to create content that you feel passionate about. It actually started in 2020. That's when my content really got refined in terms of like the fact that I wanted to focus on Black movies and books, etc. And so 2020, we had the murder of George Floyd, and I was really thinking, wow, as a Belgian, Guinean, like Black girl, like I can't really relate to the African American experience, or I can't really relate to police brutality. I've never gone through this, and it was so weird to me that I feel like this. I grew up with this assumption that because we have the same skin color, we have the same kind of experience, or we're supposed to. And so I just went through this process of just recommending more Black movies, and I was like, okay, like movies is the way that I've always known, like to better understand things and people. And so I was like, I'm just going to start like recommending movies around police brutality, and then it started to expand onto all kinds of Black movies of all genres, etc. And in 2021, I really honed in onto books.
I think a lot of people look to different directions to further educate themselves on racism and I guess the structures we live in. And you said you turned to movies, books, anime. Those are the things you're passionate about, but also, I guess, give people a better understanding of the world, what's going on.
Yeah, no, 100%. And especially because I just think, like, overall, we've been so impacted by movies, by books, by comics, etc. And like literally they impact your life. Literally, I went to Universal Studios a couple of weeks back and I tried butterbeer just because I've seen it in Harry Potter. You know, there's so many things like this that you're going to do, or even like a whole like change in your mindset just because you've read a certain book, you've watched a certain movie. And that's why when people are like, oh, it's just a movie, it's just a book, it isn't. It literally impacts you. It impacts your subconscious mind. And maybe sometimes you realize it, maybe sometimes you don't. And that's why I think that is such a great way to change mindset and for people to realize actually this is not right. I am an advocate of authentic representation. You can, spring some Black characters that are going to be villains, or, like some of them have a really bad story, etc. But I know so many villains that I love. Having Black representation doesn't mean that I don't want a Black person to be a villain anymore. I just don't want the fact that they're a villain to be attached to any stereotypes. I want authenticity and I want intention to Blackness. I think that this is something that I've definitely said as well for Wednesday, the TV show. Such a huge hit, so good. And we have one of the Black characters is a mermaid, right? And I'm hoping that in season 2, they link the fact that she's a mermaid to Mami Wata, which is basically Yoruba Nigerian mythology, and then go on to explain the whole story about Mami Watas. And that would be amazing, because then this element is intention to Blackness, because it's linked to a folk tale that is linked to an African country, etc. It's roots.
Now, I want to talk books. We're in Round Table Bookshop here in Brixton in South London. Can you tell me why you chose this location to chat today?
So I was around like 2021. I was looking for books. I was looking for bookshops, Black-owned bookshops. I wanted to highlight Black-owned bookshops, share it with my audience so that they know, where they can buy books in London, and it's Black-owned, right? And that's why I picked this location, because every time I come here, I always feel like I'm going to take at least 20 books back with me,
Even if your shelf is filled with books that you need to read.
Yes, yes. I think that I've grown from like, at first I would go to bookshops and be like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Could you please advise me? And now I'm kind of like, I want to go with my intuition, being able to just like more intuitively choose and go and pick what I want, what I've heard of. Maybe, you know, someone I know send me a DM and recommended me this book and I just pick it, you know. I feel like it's such a nice process. I really like it.
What would you say to someone who would love to do the same? They'd love to build a community of people who are really engaged and really passionate about the same things that they are. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the same space, but do you have a kind of starting point?
Post more, and also post in times where it's relevant as well for your niche, your community, who you are. Maybe it's something trending or whatever, you know, that's always helps in like pushing your content to more people. It's not important for you to take your niche, but it's important for you to create content that you feel passionate about. People follow me for the energy that I bring, you know, the enthusiasm that I have, and for my recommendations, of course, but the way I explain things as well. You know, I think that people follow a person rather than, and the content, but the person comes first, you know, so it's important to keep that as well in mind.
A multifaceted babe. I love it, Zai. You are the go-to.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. This is so fun. I'm like, do we end with a high five?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Zai, you smashed it.
Yeah.
Easy.
Thank you.